What's up, everybody? Curtis Wilkerson here with Inside Arkansas and the Pot at the Palace, coming to you with our post-game report card following Arkansas' 79-67 win over Little Rock to improve to 4-1 on the season. Man, it was kind of a tale of two halves, wasn't it? I mean, Arkansas, I think John Calipari actually encapsulated it in a great way, where he said, man, sometimes I watch this team and I go, wow, we're as good as anybody. And then other times I watch this team and I think, wow, we're as bad as anybody. So, and I think we honestly saw that from a standpoint of Arkansas. It was great in the first half. And then the second half, you saw, yeah, they still got a lot of things that they got to work on. And obviously a lack of depth is an issue for them right now, because another game where they only played 7 players because Trevor Brazile and Jonas Adu weren't there. So we've only got 7 guys to grade. A quick reminder before we get into it. This is not a player-to-player comparison so much as it's an individually based thing, right? Based on just the expectations that we have for a given player, his role on the team, his matchup, what we've seen from him so far. And we kind of graded on a curve from that standpoint. So if I say player A gets an A, player B gets a B, it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily saying player A's the better player in this game. It's just based on what we expect from him. That's kind of how we do this thing. And we also give 1 A+ to whoever the MVP is in a win. That doesn't necessarily mean they played an A+ game, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, which is why we're going to start with the dude Theo, because I do think he was the MVP for Arkansas in this one. Just another brilliant performance in a lot of ways. I mean, my goodness, you look at his stat line, 23 points in this game. He's 7 of 9 from the field, so super efficient. 9 of 10 from the free throw line, which is really, really good, obviously. 8 rebounds, so he just missed a double-double. 2 blocks, 6 freaking steals. I mean, this guy does it all. The reason I said he probably didn't play an A+ game, he had 5 turnovers, right? I mean, that's too many, so you can't give somebody an A+ if they had 5 turnovers. But you can when they're the MVP of the game, because, well, we graded on our own curve because we do what we want, right? He did a lot of really good things in this game, honestly. Just once again, starting things off with converting defense to offense. Just, it's like clockwork. Arkansas starts a game with him getting a steal and going coast to coast and getting a couple dunks. He had just the incredible sequence in the second half where Little Rock was starting to tighten things up a little bit. They made their first push there out of the gates in the second half. He gets an and one with like an old school jump hook and then makes the free throw. And then he gets a steal, and he just, in traffic, like opposite hand windmill. It's ridiculous how easy he made that look. Just a casual windmill with 2 guys in your vicinity. No big deal. And then when Arkansas just needed things down the stretch, he came through, whether it was just a big block, big defensive plays, getting to the free throw line, knocking it down, big buckets and timely moments. He was really, really good. Got to cut the turnovers down, whatever. Was happy with him, was very solid. And then we'll just start at the top of the box score and work our way down. The first guy up there it's Johnell Davis. I'm going to go D- in this game. And I don't mean to be harsh, because he's clearly working through some things right now. I mean, you can tell. We've talked about, his shot, can it be impacted by that wrist? Is he getting his range of motion, his wrist strength back, all that? Yes, absolutely can. There's more to it than that. And I think for the first time, you could see that he was pressing a little bit. You could really tell when he's missed that wide open point blank layup. A guy like Johnell Davis doesn't do that if he's not pressing, if he's not feeling a little bit of pressure on him. So I think he's getting that. We saw a little bit of frustration boiling over offensively with him. And it was a deal where I thought he was forcing it in the first half. He goes 1 of 5 in the first half, had 2 points. And that was it, because in the second half, he played 14 minutes. He didn't get even a single shot attempt up. So he kind of went back into that shell that we've seen at times. So still a lot that he's got to work out, figure out. I am pleased with the fact that it's not clicking for him right now offensively. But man, he's still being a really good teammate, impacting the game defensively. He's still flying around, coming up with steals, diving on the floor for loose balls, competing on the glass. All those things are there. He had, 2 points in this game. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a couple turnovers there. But you got to get more from that than Johnell Davis. He can't be a role player for you. And relative to expectations, he hasn't met them so far. Combination of him getting some things figured out, and the team maybe putting him in better positions there to succeed. I would like to see him maybe operating around in the middle of that zone some and get some touches in the paint, seeing if you can get some easy ones, as opposed to them just kind of having him kind of hanging out in the corner like he was there. So either way, Arkansas needs more from him moving forward, and hopefully they start getting that sooner rather than later. Boogie Fland, another guy who was really, really good in the first half. He was 5 of 5 in the first half, was just electric. And then only 1 of 6 in the second half. And then he had some turnover issues in this game. Did a lot of really good things. I mean, he played 38 minutes in this game. It's actually crazy. Now that I look at Johnell, sorry that I'm backtracking here. He played 31 minutes and he had the highest plus minus on the team. Arkansas was plus 20 over Little Rock with him on the floor. Just not clicking for him offensively. It's interesting. That kind of surprised me. It almost makes me want to give him a D plus just because they were better with him on the floor. Maybe I'll do that. But obviously, you need more than 2 points, 2 boards from who's supposed to be your best player. Back to Boogie though, 21 points in this game, really good. 6 of 11 overall from the field, really good. 3 of 5 from 3, great. 6 of 7 from the free throw line, awesome. But it was kind of a tale of two halves for him, right? 5 of 5 in the first half, 1 of 6 in the second half. So it fell off a little bit there. 4 rebounds in this game. Really like that a lot. 7 assists. That's a super high number. Very, very good. 3 steals. Very impactful. 4 turnovers is too many. But like I said on the postgame show, if you're going to have a 4 turnover game, if you're Boogie Fland, have a 7 assist game to go along with it, right? And that's exactly what he did there. So not going to give him a super grade. I'm probably going to 4 turnovers for your point guard. I might not go A territory, even though he did a lot of really good things there. Some questionable decisions down the stretch, though. It took a way too early 3 in the shot clock. There's more than 20 seconds left on the shot clock, and he's shooting a 3 off the dribble there with a 14-point lead under 4 minutes. He had the weird like step through Kobe Bryant thing, just an ugly shot there down the stretch. So some decision-making things. But I mean, still efficient, 7 assists. I got to give him a B plus type of grade there. I think overall. We talked about Theo, DJ Wagner, interesting game. Again, man, damn it. His 3-point percentage is getting skewed because he can't keep his toe off that line. He had a 3 that was changed to a 2 at one point in this game. And it would have been a 4 made 3 game for him. Instead, it was 3. That's still very good. But he finishes with 11 points in this game, 4 of 10 from the field. So interestingly enough, not finishing around the rim like he usually does, but he's knocking down threes. He's 3 of 6 from 3. I didn't think we would see many games where he would hit 3 triples or even attempt 6 like that. So that's a welcome sign after he hit a couple in this last game to hit 3 in this one. 5 rebounds in this game. He did have 3 turnovers. He also had 3 steals. I thought he was mostly really, really solid though. Like what more can you ask from DJ Wagner? How many turnovers did he have? Yeah, 3 turnovers. So that's too many. But the scoring, 3-point shooting is good. You'd like him to finish a little better. B minus for DJ. I mean, I thought he did a lot of really good things, but obviously some areas he can improve on a little bit and clean up there as well. Big Z. Okay. 10 points. He had 7 in the first half, 3 of 5 from the field. He did knock down a 3-pointer. He was 3 of 4 from the line. 3 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 2 blocks, and a steal. Up and down from Z. You know, I thought he did some really good things. You know, Little Rock runs so much of their offense through their post player by just like they bring him up to the elbow, they enter it into him, and they just kind of let that guy cook. He can do dribble handoffs, kickouts, getting the ball screens. He can face and attack. They run so much of their offense through that, which requires Big Z to defend away from the rim. Like he's got to drag himself out from the lane and get out there and be a defender in space for the most part, especially in the first half. I thought he did a great job at that. I really did. So I want to commend him for that. He still had 3 turnovers. That's cutting more than half from 7 the last game. So some progress from that standpoint. But buddy, if you're 7'2" and you're playing 25 minutes, you got to get more than 3 defensive rebounds. One play that really stood out. It's just the little things for Arkansas in closing out these games. You know, he had a stretch there where he picked up 2 just cheap fouls. It was like fatigue fouls and frustration fouls that he got. So then he has 4. He's got to go to the bench with about 8 minutes left. He comes back in on a free throw and just doesn't box out. He gives up an offensive rebound to a dude that's a foot shorter than him, and it winds up getting swung around, and Little Rock gets a 3 out of it. And it's little things like that you can't really have, right? Securing rebounds and like baseline inbounds passes without the ball getting tipped out of your hands. Got to be stronger with that thing in there when you grab it, chin it, pivot, and get it out of there. I sound like a coach because I've had this discussion with post players for a decade in the past, but he's got to get better about doing that teams are really trying to fish that ball out from him when he does come down with a rebound or get those inbounds, and they're having success just kind of tipping it out from his hands because he's not being super strong with it or even securing those defensive rebounds at all. So you got to have more of that. And I think it's just showing up more now because you don't have any other forwards. Like there's no other options in the front court to go to. Did some good things blocking shots. Yeah, man, you got to rebound more. C plus, like I don't think it was all bad things to work on. Did some good things. I think he was more good than he was maybe off in this game, but I also know that he's capable of a lot more. So I'm going to go C plus there with Big Z. Carter Knox, man, I hate it for him. I really do. I've been waiting for him to become more assertive and aggressive and just show some confidence on the offensive end of the floor. I didn't think it was going to be on the night where he's got like a dislocated finger and he's got his fingers are taped together. So it's obviously going to impact your shot. But he was letting that thing fly. And people were kind of asking me in the post game and on Twitter, like, why is Carter Knox taking 11 shots? And the answer is because he was getting open looks because he was either creating them for himself, had a lot of opportunities where he was, floaters, runners, just shots that I feel like he would normally make or that he has made throughout the course of his high school career that weren't falling. And then he was getting just open looks from three. And man, if you're a guard or a wing on this team, you can't pass those shots up. Like, I don't think he was really forcing that many. He just wasn't making them. And you have to be able to do that. 6 points, 2 of 11 in this game and 0 of 6 from three. So it's like at some point there when it's not falling, maybe you make an adjustment. I certainly understand that. 2 of 4 from the free throw line, so you want to be able to knock those down. I like the 4 rebounds. I don't necessarily like the 2 turnovers, but whatever. In 18 minutes of action, while I am pleased with seeing him try to become more assertive and get himself going, the results still have to be there. I understand that, so I got to go D plus. Even though I'm believe it or not, I am encouraged by some of the things that I saw there. I know people are going to call me crazy, but I was. While understanding you got to have better. Billy Richmond, I thought he was pretty solid. Kind of surprised he didn't play more than he did. 20 minutes. I know he was dealing with some cramps and stuff in there too. He took a hard fall at one point, a hard foul, and he wound up making a couple free throws there, which is good. But he had 6 points, made both of his shots from the field, both of his free throws, had 6 rebounds. Very good for an Arkansas team now that's a little bit shorthanded in the front court. 1 assist. He didn't turn over. He was the only player in the Razorback rotation not only who didn't have a turnover, but everybody else had at least 2, right? So everybody else had multiple turnovers. He didn't have any. So that's very good. +5 with him on the floor in 20 minutes, A-. I mean, that was pretty solid work from Billy there. There were a couple things defensively I noticed, especially for a while there. Arkansas went with the 3 freshmen, DJ Wagner and Big Z. It was either Big Z or Theo. I can't remember, but it was 2 Kentucky guys and 3 freshmen. It basically is what the lineup was. And they had some defensive breakdowns, some communication issues on those flex cuts that Little Rock was running. A lot of times it was Billy and Carter Knox that seemed to be the culprits there. So some things there to work on, but overall, I thought he was a net positive. So there you have it. Maybe we'll do a little offense and defense grade here. Offensively, I'll probably go C minus. Yeah, I think I'll go C minus. I thought they did some really, really good things in the first half, like bordering on an A in the first half. And fatigue played a factor in the second, but the ball was sticking more, a little bit more careless with it. The shots weren't falling right. And so you got to take that into account. At the end of the day, I'm fine with 47% from the field. That's solid. Sub 30 from 3, so 7 of 24. You want to be a little bit better than that. They've been shooting it better. Really good getting to the free throw line and converting, 22 of 27. But man, just 12 assists and 19 turnovers. That's way too many. So something they've really got to figure out and work on there. Hasn't been as big of an issue lately, but it certainly reared its head today. How many of those came in the second half? 12 of the 19 came in the second half. So there you have it. Defensively, man, they were pretty good. They did give up 43 points in the second half, so I can't be too I can't give them too high of a grade. So that knocks them out of A range for me. But I'll probably give them a solid B. I mean, giving up 67 points, that's not bad. held them under 40%, so 37% from the field. A team that's shooting 40% from three coming into the game. You held them to 27% and only 6 makes. It's very good. Did put them on the line 23 times, whatever. And you forced 19 turnovers, so some good things there. So we'll go C- with the offense and maybe a B defensively there for Arkansas. And there you have it. They improved to 4-1. Just a couple days. They'll probably take it pretty easy these next couple days and do a lot of walkthrough stuff. But they got Maryland Eastern Shore, who is not good. I mean, I don't know what else to say to try to sugarcoat that or anything. But just as I pull up the Kim Pom rankings here, and I go to Arkansas, which dropped significantly, actually, which kind of surprised me. But Maryland Eastern Shore is 358th out of 362 teams so far at Ken Pom. So Arkansas is projected to win by 30, and they've been playing with their food too much, but this is a game where they should absolutely do that. We'll see if it happens. But I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys as always. I know it's a little frustrating right now because you feel like you should be putting these teams away and keeping the foot on the pedal for 40 minutes. They just got to kind of grind it out right now until they, knock on wood, get a little bit more healthy as they continue to go through the growing process as a team. But another win for the Razorbacks, and we'll be back for another episode in the morning. So for Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas on the Pod at the Palace, that's a wrap with the report card. We'll see you in the morning.